Residents of East Coast of Demerara, government ministers will be in your neighborhood tomorrow, and a scoping team to soon visit Wackenham Hospital. It's Tuesday, July 2. The details of these and other stories on today's news. Embrace a Green Guyana. This is the call from Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency, Joseph Harmon, as he addressed the opening of the 5th annual Linden Riverfront Festival.
Speaking from the recently completed river deck at the Whitaker House, Director General Harmon acknowledged that the riverfront development is part of the coalition government's vision of developing a green Guyana.
This riverfront development is part of the development that we envisage for a green Guyana. It is part of our Green State development strategy, and this is the strategy that will see Guyana into a green state within the next 30 years.
The objective of Guyana's Green State Development Strategy, GSDS, is to reorient and diversify Guyana's economy, reducing reliance on resource-intensive sectors and opening up new sustainable income and investment opportunities in green sectors with higher added value. The Director General also told the gathering that in transforming into a green state, behavioral changes must occur as it relates to environmental issues.
We are going to see Guyana transformed into a green state and a green economy. What that means is that our behavior, our attitude to our environment has to change in keeping with that strategy. And so our attitude to rivers, our attitude to creeks, our attitudes to the trees, our attitude to our environment, the air that we breathe, has to undergo significant changes. And so it is in that context that I really do appreciate what is happening here on this waterfront.
The Demerara River, which divides the town of Linden in two, is considered one of the most important assets to the town. It connects all the town's waterways, including valleys, springs, and creeks. Mr. Harmon added that government has always been a strong supporter of waterfront development projects, which are evident in Bartica, Supernam, and in New Amsterdam. Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
At a recent community engagement held in Wackenham, Minister of Public Health Walter Lawrence announced plans for a scoping team to visit the island's health facilities to determine priority areas for improvement.
Accompanied by her cabinet colleague, Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson, Minister Lawrence noted the focus of the team's work.
Where the deficiencies and the gaps are, and with whatever projects we can have revisited by the Ministry of Finance in our half-year review, we're going to take on that to ensure that we can be able to address as many as we can.
During an interview with InfoHub, the Public Health Minister spoke about the health facilities on the island.
Wackenham is one of those areas where people are asking for upgraded services. We are aware that the health facilities that were built and exist now, there was no futuristic plan during the building. Like the health facilities, they never run any electrical wiring or anything.
Reporting from Wackenham with videographer Anil Silal, Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
There is a need for Guyana to be fully prepared to handle cybersecurity threats. This was underscored today by Cybersecurity Manager of the National Data Management Authority, Mariana McPherson.
McPherson made the remarks at the first of a series of stakeholder consultations on the development of a national cybersecurity strategy. The event was held at the Arthur Chung Convention Center. McPherson said Guyana is becoming an electronic state and has already experienced several cyber attacks. Even with legislation, she pointed out that no stone should be left unturned in formulating the strategy. Critical in this effort, according to McPherson, is collaboration with local and international agencies.
As we endeavor to modernize and improve the delivery of public service, it is necessary that all electronic initiatives are implemented in a secure manner to win the confidence of citizens, businesses, and local and international partners. This cannot be achieved by one ministry, agency, company, or individual only. We need to leverage the knowledge, skills, experience existing across all stakeholders.
McPherson said the technical working group established prior to the consultation in collaboration with the Organization of American States will be instrumental in developing the first draft for the cybersecurity strategy.
This strategy is of paramount importance to guide the implementation of appropriate technologies, tactics, and practices that will foster confidence both locally and internationally in the use of locally provided e-services and interconnectivity with local organizations and entities.
Over the next few months, the consultation will benefit from the assistance of OAS's Program Officer, Kerry Ann Barrett. Barrett said the strategy needs to be long-term and not a quick fix. She also advised that the strategy be nation-oriented and not politically aligned. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan has sent a stern message to officials elected to serve on regional and neighborhood democratic councils, encouraging them to remove politics from the management of their respective communities.
The minister was addressing a community meeting at Mariah's Pleasure, Wakenham on Sunday. He, along with Minister of Agriculture Noel Holder, met with residents as part of an outreach to the island. A walkabout in the community gave the ministers a first-hand view of the impassable road. Minister Bulkan said the opposition-controlled NDC and RDC have not been fulfilling their mandate in the community.
This road, from what I can see, it has a solid foundation, it has a solid base. So it's not some big expensive job to keep this road in proper maintenance. And this NDC are the ones who should have been making that representation in a proper manner. And even utilizing some of their subvention. The suggestion was made, no big expense needed now, crusher run and a roller. Or even better yet, you grade first and then you put the crusher on, and it's not a huge expense.
He reminded that the coalition government restored local democracy after more than 2 decades of non-challenge by the previous administration. But even with the government's commitment to local democracy, persons elected by their constituencies are being influenced by the parliamentary opposition. Minister Bulkan said that the issue of the road should have been taken care of by the NDC. Speaking also at the community meeting, Minister Holder said community leaders need to take stock of their work, since the common oil wealth cannot be squandered wantonly.
But even if you have lots of oil wealth to spread around, you need the community involvement at the neighborhood council and the regional council to know how to spend that money. There's no point having money and we don't, like what you're raising there is something that should be come on the front burner so that, when funds are available, these are the projects we want to spend it on.
Minister Holder also addressed some concerns of residents of the farming community. These include rice cultivation, duck rearing, and production cost for planting. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Still to come, government through the Education Ministry opens another ICT laboratory and Leg 1 chip factory for August opening. The details of these stories and more after the break. Stay with us.
Are you ready to embark on a truly epic adventure to an undiscovered corner of South America, where some of the most spectacular natural attractions are unveiled within a beautifully diverse landscape? From the wetlands and savannas to the ancient mountains, magnificent waterways and lush enriching rainforest would provide a vast playground for some of the most exotic and breathtaking creatures on the planet, including many of the world's giant species. This untouched land of mystery and wonder serves up an exclusive experience for travellers. So are you ready for a new, awe-inspiring adventure? Welcome back to nature. Welcome to Guyana.
Welcome back. The government is serious about development in information and communications technology, and in another show of this commitment, opened another ICT laboratory, this time at the Gibraltar Courtland Primary School in Region 6.
The ICT lab comes as the Ministry of Education continues to upgrade educational facilities nationwide to improve student performance. Head teacher of the Gibraltar Courtland Primary School, Melanie Thomas, remarked that the new ICT lab will make a positive impact on the learning outcomes of the students.
The business of molding and inspiring our pupils has been made a little easier with the construction and consequent completion of this lovely information technology lab.
Minister of Education Dr. Nicolette Henry explained the vital nature of ICT-enabled learning in 21st century classrooms.
Computer-enabled learning is very important for 21st century education. And so I'm pleased to be here this afternoon to commission the IT lab. But I'm pleased also because I know that this is the beginning of a great journey. And I know that a lot of positives will come out of this project.
The lab was one of several others furnished in schools across Guyana in 2019. In excess of $128 million was spent on educational initiatives in Region 5 and 6 over the last few weeks. This new ICT lab is in keeping with the ministry's efforts to modernize education delivery and learning environments. It is also in keeping with the coalition government's overall objective of making Guyana a digital state. Natisha Isaacs for InfoHub.
Aliki farmers will soon be able to sell plantains and other ground provisions to the Legwan Chip Factory, which is scheduled for opening in August. This announcement was made by Minister of Business Hemraj Rajkumar, who noted that the facility will serve as an alternative market for farmers.
Minister of Business Hemraj Rajkumar made the announcement while pointing out that the factory will serve as an alternate market for farmers. Plantains and other ground provisions will be reproduced as flour and packaged for sale.
We have the plantain chip factory at Legwan. Probably some of you would have heard of it. It's already built. It's already all the equipment is there, and we have a facilitator person who will open the factory and start its operating. It's not just plantain chips, but there will be plantain flour. You will drying the plantain, making plantain flour, and other products from ground provisions.
Director General of the Ministry of Presidency Joseph Harmon pointed out government's plan as it relates to the operationalization of the factory.
We are looking at the establishment of plantain chip factories and things to processing these bananas and so on that you produce, so that we will be able, as a state or as companies that have been so authorized, to be able to buy these things off of you at a good price so that you can be encouraged to continue farming.
Both the business minister and the director general engaged residents of Aliki Essequibo Islands on Sunday in an effort to address their concerns. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
In its quest to meet Guyanese at the grassroots level, a team of government ministers will be fanning out on Wednesday, July 3 to several communities on the east coast of Demerara. Some of these areas include Plaisance, Berwick-Wacting, Golden Grove, Annsgrove, and Enmore. The ministers will have a walkabout in the communities commencing at 16 hours, followed by community meetings at 17 hours 30. Residents are being encouraged to come out and let your voices be heard, as the ministers want to hear from you. Locations for the various meetings can be found on our social media platforms. Our DPI team will also be bringing you updates, so follow us for a special edition of InfoHub tomorrow evening to get an idea of what was covered during the meetings. That's all for today. Connect with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Much more news is on our website, dpi.gov.gy, and pop over to Instagram for the latest photo updates at DPI Guyana. Your Bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.